What's up, Mansion Builders? I want to talk to you today about how to increase your monthly net profit, and that is by going where the affluent customers are. You need to move. You need to go to where your future customers are, the customers that have money, the customers that can afford $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 per month for end-of-life care, for assisted living or memory care. Those people, those are your customers. Don't stay in an area of town or in your little small town that you're in if you do not have those customers there. You are not a tree. You can leave, right? Laura and I, we moved from California to Central Texas to be able to do this. We took our kids when they were young, moved them away from their grandparents and their family and cousins, all of that stuff, because our dreams for financial freedom, for what we wanted to build, was bigger than that 6 months of this kind of sucks. We just got over it. And I want to encourage you to get over it. If you are in that place where it's like, well, you know what, Brett, I hear your message, I hear your numbers, and it all makes perfect sense for you or for other people in a different area. You know what? Then you just need to move your area. You need to drive the 30 minutes or 45 minutes, or you just need to actually leave and move up your family and go somewhere where you can do a life-changing deal. So I've talked to several people in different states all around the country, and sometimes they're just in this little kind of podunk town, and we look at the statistics and the data and the numbers and everything. It's like, man, the income is really low here. People are in just above poverty as the average population here. You cannot do this deal here, right? That does not mean that you cannot do this deal. And then we talk through, well, what is an hour away? Where's the next big city? What are the good parts and the affluent parts of the next big city? I mean, if you're in some of these areas that you see, like California, where homelessness and drugs and crime are just through the roof, and you don't want to send your kids to school there and all that kind of stuff, hey, you know what? Here's the perfect opportunity. We took the opportunity to leave, and we moved our family to a place where most people are moving to, right? There's certain states that people are leaving, and there's certain states that people are going to. Look at the trends, look at the patterns. Use this as an opportunity to move your family if you are looking to do that. So you want to look for a market rate that has at least $6,500 per month per resident for room fees, right? For bed rates. So I think a good minimum number, a floor for this, is about $6,500 a month. If you can run a 16-bed luxury product like we do and get an average of about $6,500 a month, that'll put your income above 100 grand. You'll be able to have 1 to 2 managers. You'll be able to have full-time staff, a chef. You have all the overtime stuff that just comes into play, afford the best of the best care, and still make about 40 grand a month, and have all of the expenses and staffing to be pretty passive by about year 2. So 6,500, that is your goal. If you are not hitting that in your market now, then where can you find 6,500 or higher, right? The higher it is, most times the more money you make. So as you're looking at this, a lot of times you're gonna find a lot of places that are 3,500, 4,500, maybe topping at about 5,000. It's either one of two problems. Either one, those markets are just no good and they do not have your right customers and you just need to move out of that market. Or two, you're comparing against the wrong thing. There's plenty of places in my market that are way lower than me. They're half the price of Platinum Resort because that's a different product, right? We're not talking about end of life or memory care. We're not talking about private rooms with all the amenities that you would need when you have a big physical problem or cognitive problem to solve. If you're comparing to lighter levels of care, independent living, early assisted living, that's a totally different product and that's way less work, and therefore it is literally much, much cheaper. But if you can understand that and then you start comparing to who does end of life care, who has a luxury product, who has private rooms, that only them, those are the people, those are the businesses that you should compare against and try to find an area where you can hit at least $6,500 a month. So I'll be looking at land deals with our partners and we're looking at properties that they want to purchase, and they'll say, hey, you know what? I don't want to be in this area. It's too expensive, right? I know all of my higher end customers are over there, the affluent customers, but the land over there is too expensive. This is kind of this nice middle ground here. And I think that's honestly the wrong approach. I think when you focus on the land price as the limiting factor, it is not the limiting factor, right? The price of your land is important, but it's probably like the 4th level down as far as numbers of importance. Honestly, where you need to focus is bed rates. What is my income per customer? That is the most important number. It's not the price of the land. If you brought me two pieces of property in the same city, one on the east side of town, one on the west side of town, and on the east side, it was $500,000 an acre. On the west side, it was $1 million an acre. If we put everything into the calculator, it's the same price for your managers, your chef, your caregivers, right? Your utilities are the same, the food costs are the same, the insurance is the same, all of those things are the same. But if you just changed your land cost on the expense side and you increased your bed rates by $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month, that's between $16,000 and $32,000 of income. And then you take out the difference of that 500 grand, the 500 grand is negligent when you look at it on a monthly cash flow scale. When it's amortized over 30 years, that $500,000 difference that you thought was this massive thing, like I can't spend $1 million on a piece of land, that makes a difference of about $2,000 a month of expenses. And you have $20,000 a month of income, right? It's like, oh my gosh, it's a no-brainer. The limiting factor where you need to focus is not the price of land. Spend more money on land, right? Be where your customers are. The income is the most important. When you can add $1,000 or $2,000, that is pretty much 90% profit. Just think about that. How do I add $20,000 a month at 90% profit? That is a life-changing opportunity right there. That is the difference between being in the middle income part of town and the affluent part of town. Spend the extra couple hundred grand. You will for sure make so much more cash flow. So if you spent more money on land to be where your customers are, how does that affect you monetarily, being able to put the deal together? Really, it's just more cash up front. If you need a takedown loan as you're going through and getting all your ducks in a row, then that's more money up front right there, right? But you can bring on an investor partner. You can do a huge deal like this. And you know why? Because there's so much meat on the bone that there is so much money to share with an investor partner, right? If we're going from the difference between $25,000 a month in net profit to $40,000 a month in net profit, there is so much meat on the bone when you do a deal like this that people are so excited when you start sharing the numbers and sharing the opportunity. Here's what we're going to build. So bring on an investor partner, do a bigger life-changing deal, and find the opportunity where the affluent customers are.